So let's have a circuit.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Is there a way to like make it like cooler in here?
I don't.
No?
I think that last window might be able to be open. If you can't open it,
Do that fan work?
you won't be able to hear me with that fan.
All right.
What's that?
Burning up.
Yeah, I know. Is that window open? Yeah, go for it. Open it full tilt. Yeah, open it full tilt. Okay.
It's the only one that opens.
Yeah, I think that's the only one that opens. Okay, and so you have 4 loops, we're going to have 4 equations, okay? And so the 4 equations are okay, and the second one is okay, third one. And then the fourth equation is okay. All right. I think that's more or less correct. Okay, so this is from doing mesh analysis. All of you will have mesh analysis at some point. You all will take circuits, right? Okay? All right, but I'm not asking you to write the equations. What is the purpose today? The idea is if you're solving a set of simultaneous equations, right, that you have to put them in the correct format to solve them. Everybody understand that? Okay? So this is the only part of the class that you really have any algebra to do. Okay? So the first problem on the test, this is 4 equations. On the first problem of the test, you're going to have like 7 or 8. Everybody got that? Okay? You're going to rearrange them, and you're going to solve for those variables that are unknown. Okay? Yeah? So, how many equations do I have here? How many variables can I solve? Have confidence in yourself. You know the answer.
0.
0. That's what you would get. Someone else?
But that was a good one. It took me 9 over.
So what would it be? Come on, Dominic. How many equations can you solve? How many variables can you get from 4 equations that you can get an answer for? Have confidence in yourself. How many? You really don't know?
Maybe 4.
4, right? So I have 4 equations. Can solve 4 unknown variables, right? Okay? Now this is really an important concept, and you don't necessarily get it right away, okay? Is this idea of one variable, one equation. Most of you, I will have again, hopefully all of you, I will have again an engineering econ, and we will solve, you will have a problem from me where you have 30 or 40 equations that you're going to then take for a whole system, and then for design, and then do the economics on the design. And that means you're going to solve all the variables. Okay, you have to do the number 1 programming language that's used in industry is Excel. It's not MATLAB, it's not Python, it's not R, it's not C++ or whatever, it's Excel. Okay, not for computer engineers, but for electrical and chemical. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's Excel. Okay? So, you can only solve 1 unknown per equation. Everybody got that? That's it. How many variables do I have here? Well, let's see. How many resistors do I have? 9. So I have 9 resistors. How many currents? 4. And how many voltage sources? 2. Okay, so how many variables is that altogether?
15.
Oops, sorry. 15, right? So what is the degrees of freedom? So in this case, it's 15 minus 4. That's the degrees of freedom. Okay? I just want to talk a little bit about this because I will see, at least the chemical engineers, I will see you in design. Okay? I teach the senior courses mostly other than EGR courses. So EGR courses in ethics, engineering econ, and this, and then EGR101. Rest is senior chem E classes, right? And people need to understand this when it comes to design because you're now playing God or Goddess and you're trying to build something, right? Okay? And that's why when you do this in EE class, almost always you're just solving for the currents. Okay? But when you get to design, you get your capstone, that's not the case. Because here, I may need some sort of power. Or here, I might need some specific current value. And instead, I want to know what this resistor should be, or what this voltage source should be. That's design. Does everybody understand the difference? In design, I'm doing the same set of equations, but I'm choosing what matters to me, and then figuring out what I need from my fixed variables, right, to make the design work the way I want it to. Make sense? Okay? So if I was a chemical engineer, we have all these unit ops, right? And here I have a reactor and a distillation column, correct? You have a reactor and a distillation column. And you may start typically, okay, here's the values coming into the reactor. What comes out at the end? That's your year 1 class. Or your year 2, sorry. Your first Chem E class, right? When you get to design, how does it really work? On design, I have a specific product to make. with a specific purity, and I got to work to see what I have to put in the front end to make it happen. See the difference? Did the overall equations change? No. What changed? What is known or desired in this case, right? In design, it's desired, right? And what I need to find. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So the exercise here is how to rearrange those things to solve for what's not known. Got it? Okay? And I want you to think about this for the future. Again, this is a tool. This isn't just you using it just here. The idea is to make your life easier. Okay? Your boss may not ask you to do this. If you're a process engineer at PepsiCo or something, like several of our students have, or Merck, you are in charge of this process. You don't wait for your boss to tell you. You go ahead and you come up with the model for the system. You come up with the mass energy balances, and you're ready. Why? Because your boss today will say, oh, wow, we're changing the feed concentration to something else like this. Can you work it out for me? And you come back 5 minutes later. Yeah, here it is. How'd you have it? Well, I was ready. I had the whole thing modeled. In my free time, I got it all set up. It's all ready. And all I need to do is change the values. And here it is. You see what I'm saying? It's a tool. It's to further yourself. Okay? You need to think of that academically. Most of you have, but not everyone, right? If you were serious, you'll hear about these athletes and how crazy they are, and they're playing basketball left and right, and they're coming up with drills that no one's ever done. You're going to be a kick-ass engineer. What do you think you need to do? Seriously. Do you think about that? Are you pushing yourself? Are you sharpening your head? Because that's the skill set that you need. You see what I'm saying? Damn it, that's the frame of mind you need to have. You see what I'm getting at? Mm-hmm. Right? Right? I'm serious, okay? I remember, I'm old enough. I saw Steph Curry play at Davidson. He didn't have the handle he has today. How'd he get there? Hours upon hours and hours upon work. Are you going to work at your craft? Are you going to make these tools? Are you going to use these tools? You see what I'm getting at? Okay? Not to pick on anyone, because it's not. But Quinlan's been hitting me up, hey, I want to learn MATLAB because I heard it's a good tool to use. You know, I was soaring in the sky when I heard that. You want to have that attitude, not just MATLAB, anything that you do, okay? Got it? Okay? So I want you to be able to rearrange these because when you become seniors, you're going to be rearranging your equations. They're going to be the same equations you got in your first class in that engineering, but you're now doing it for a different purpose. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
It's not just an academic exercise. Okay? All right. So what does degrees of freedom mean? It means you have to choose those or give those. Okay? Okay? Last thing, and then we'll go into the math because I know it's hard. We're going to do this set of equations twice, and then I'll let you go. Okay? No, what did we do? Did we do it twice? We did it 3 times, I think. Did we do it twice? I can't remember. We'll see. But I'll let you go early. I don't think it's going to be too long because it is hot. So, my other pet peeve, being the person who does design, I see you as seniors. For chemical engineering, I'm not trying to hammer on the teachers who teach this or not, or whatever it is. But I'm just letting you know. I did the same thing when it happened to me. What will they do? Well, this has only 4 unknowns. But when you get something complicated, like you're really going to have, right? When you go into the process calcs and you're doing your final, you may have something with 3 unit ops, and there may be 12 unknowns. Okay? And they're worried about the time for you to take the test, and they're worried about, okay, can they do the algebra? So instead of giving you 13 equations to solve, what do? They give you half the answer. You only have 6 things to solve. What did that mean? That means they gave 7 answers. Not degrees of freedom, answers. You see what I'm getting at? You see the difference? I hate that. I hate it. Because it gets into wrong habits. Okay? It almost always happens with chemical engineering and distillation columns. They never give you the full equations. They give you enough information that you don't need to use all the equations. And I'd rather have it, Here, write all the equations down. Now, maybe I'll give you more than you need, but you were able to write all the equations. Okay? All right? Because to me, that's what matters. So we got to specify 11 of these. All right? So let's do the traditional one because it's actually the kind of a pain in the butt. Let's go ahead and we're going to treat the 4 currents as being unknown. We got 9 resistors known, 2 voltage sources that are known. Okay? And again, I will use the terminology. It doesn't matter as much now, but when we get to differential equations, it does. What is a parameter and what is an input? Parameter is fixed. Input is a fixed, so-called fixed value, but it can change. So what are the things that typically change? If you're an electrical engineer, I may have a switch that opens and closes this voltage source, right? Now, it could be true this resistor is on a pot. So it's a variable resistor. Then it's an input, got it? I may change the pot from one resistance to a new resistance. Then that is an input. Just so you guys hear that and get familiar with it. You do not need it for exam 1, okay? But what's the difference between a parameter and input? Inputs we may manipulate. They may change during the simulation, okay? That's your exam 3. You're going to throw the switch. You're going to change the flow rate. You're going to manipulate the system. Got it? Okay. All right, so here we are. We're going to do these. Everybody have this down? Because I'm sorry, I got this baby board here. So here's the setup. And I don't want to make it seem, really, it's accounting. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at dotting my I's, crossing my T's, and everything else. So I really want you to do that for this. Because if you do it, you won't make any problems. It's not that hard. You just got to be meticulous. Okay? I'm not good at being meticulous. Okay? All right. So what are we looking for? Okay? Why did I put underlining before I1? What's going to be, where are those going to go? Nigel, where are they going to end up at? Those those underscores before the I's are going to end up in what matrix? Come on, guys, what are we doing this for? AX equals B. Right? So Nigel, which matrix is it going to? This is going to what matrix? Ah, we got to show hands back there. Brendan. A matrix, right. What about the something on the right? What's that going to be? Brandon? B, excellent. What is the X vector here? What is X here, guys? What are we solving for? Jackie? What are the 4 things I'm solving for? So the first one is what? Jackie? Second one? Third one? All by position, okay? If I change the order, then the order needs to be changed in here. MATLAB is not going to spit them out that way. It's going to give you X. You just need to realize, okay, the first one's this, the second one's that. Got it? Don't forget that, okay? So, here's the way I typically do it. Have 2 pieces of paper, or actually have 1 piece of paper that's your solution paper. On your solution paper, write this out. So have it on both sheets of paper, this. Okay? On your solution, when we are done manipulating the equation, when we're done manipulating the equation, we're going to have a 1 prime. And it's going to be something times I1 plus something times I2 plus something times I3 plus something times I4 equals something. That's my solution. After I'm done, I'm going to have all my solutions here, and I'm going to write A, and A is simple. All the I1s get crossed out, I2s get crossed out, I3s, I4s, that's A. Everything here is B. Got it? Okay? On the other sheet, work out all the problems. Do all the work. Okay? We're going to go through every hoary-gory step, because a lot of you are just starting, and we're just going to go through it all. When you get better at it, you can skip steps. I'm fine with that. Okay? I'm fine with that. I'm not going to mark you off if you skip steps. Okay? So, let's start with the first equation. Okay, so Quinlan, the first equation here, right, is R1I1, R2I1 minus VS1 plus R3I1 minus I3 equals 0. All right, so Quinlan, we're going to go left to right, and we're going to follow this exactly. Okay? So the first variable that I'm trying to find is all the coefficients for I1. So which ones have I1?
It's too hot.
Okay, what else? So for this, guys, what do I need to do? Actually, do we have an extra chair? Let's prop the door open. Or here, we could just use the fan. Okay, so, Quinlan, what do I need to do about this? Does everybody see that? If you have an unknown variable inside a parenthesis, I have to multiply through. Got it? Okay? So let's rewrite this. Let's kind of rearrange it just a little bit, friends. So let's have R1I1 plus R2I1. And then let's multiply this through. Okay? So Quinlan, what am I going to do now? I want the coefficient for I1. What is the coefficient for I1 then?
Coefficient for I1 would be R1 plus R2.
So I'm going to put what?
R1
Parentheses, right?
R1 plus R2 plus R2.
That is my first coefficient in A. Everybody see that? Now, it's bookkeeping. So what I like to do is I'll put a little thin line, and I know I've taken care of those. Got it? Quinlan, what's my next variable?
R2.
Okay. Are there any I2s?
No.
So what do I write?
0.
So I write what? Plus?
Plus 0 I2.
Quinlan, why did you write 0 I2?
Because we still have to match up in the matrix.
It has to match up in the matrix. Everybody got that? Good job. You need the placeholder there. Zeros. In fact, the bigger the network, the lot more zeros you're going to have. Everybody understand that? Okay? Okay? So you have to include the zeros. Okay, Quinlan, what about R3? What do I have?
R3, you I3,
I3, sorry, my bad.
you have R3.
So what do I put here?
You put, parentheses, or actually no parentheses, plus R3, I.
What's the sign?
Negative.
I like to put a plus minus just in case. Please remember the negative. Biggest thing is everybody does it right and they're all happy, and then when they put the A matrix, they forget the minus sign. It just breaks my heart. Okay? Remember, it's a minus R3. Got it? Okay. All right, what about I4?
0 I.
And I put a little line. I'm done with that, right?
Plus 0 I4.
Plus 0 I4. And then what do I do with this thing?
Just another 0. Something. So that would be the B.
So what do I do with it, Quinn? Come on now. You're on such a roll. This is the easiest one. What do I need to do with that, Quinlan? What would you do if it was x plus 3 equals 5? What would you do with the 3? Come on.
Subtract
Yeah?
the other side.
Yeah, so I'm going to do what?
Equals VS1.
This is going to go, and it's going to be what? A plus VS1, right? Yeah? So this equals what?
VS1.
Because that's known. Has no variable with it. Okay? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Is this done?
No.
Is this in this format? Yeah. So Jackie, is it done?
Yes.
Thank you. So what do you put? We're going to put a 1 prime, and that's going to go on your solution page. Okay? I'm going to erase this now, because you all have it. And we're going to put our solutions here.
You want us to make two pages?
I do. I think it's easier to have a solution one. Solution top should be this, and it should be your prime equations, right? Because you're going to take your A and B from it. Got it?
You don't got to do it far.
Okay? So 1 prime here is R1 plus R2 plus R3, I1 plus 0, I2 plus a negative R3, I3 plus a 0, I4 equals VS1. Got it?
I'm just doing it on the back page.
All right. All right, Nigel, help me with equation 2. BS1, what do you need to do to it?
Subtract it.
Right? So this becomes R6I2 okay? Nigel, what about R1?
You have a 0 because I don't have both.
Okay? And Nigel, what about I2? What do I need to do?
I2 would be R6 plus R8. That's R7.
What about this?
I'm going to distribute it right now.
So let's distribute it first, okay? So let's rewrite it with the distribution. Again, you're going to get the feel for this, and some of you want to skip steps. I'm okay with it, but make sure you know what the hell you're doing. So what does this become, Nigel?
R8, R2, well, or minus R8, I4 equals negative VS.
Okay, and so I have my I2 term, so this becomes 0, I1. And what do I put all in parentheses?
R6 plus R7 plus R8
I'm going to put a little line through it so I know it's covered. And then I have minus R8 I4 equals minus VS1. Okay? Okay, Nigel, what's the next step?
Just insert the 0, I3 in between.
Okay. Okay, 0, I3. And then what does this become? We're basically done, right? I'll put a plus minus, but if you don't want to, that's fine. This is now 2 prime. Everybody see that? It's done. Got it? Okay? It isn't hard, you just have to be meticulous. Okay, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we rewrite it up here. Some of you making me worried you're taking pictures. Why the hell aren't you writing instead? Just asking. Passive learning is going to get you there. I'm going to ask you to do this. The last one, some of these last ones you're going to do on your own, and you're not leaving until you get it done. Just saying. So, you might want to start trying to do it yourself, rather than taking pictures. All right. Number three. Who wants to do 3? All right, Dominic, you ready?
Well, let me write it out too.
All right, I'm going to write it out too.
All right. All right, can we distribute first?
Okay, and why are we distributing this one?
Yeah.
Why, friend?
Because it's 3 in there, right?
Because what are we doing first? I1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I1's in the parentheses, so we distribute. What do we write?
R3I3 minus R3I1.
Okay, and then I'll rewrite this. You don't have to say it. Okay, how many I1s do we have?
We got 1.
Okay, and so it's what?
R3I1.
No.
Oop.
Dominic?
Give me a hint.
I am.
Oh, negative R3I1.
See?
Yes,
You
sir.
just break my heart. Okay, what's next?
R2, but we don't got none.
Not R2.
I mean I2, we don't got none.
So what do we put there?
0 I2.
Okay, and then I'll rewrite everything, even though people might want to start doing steps, skipping steps, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But let's rewrite it for everybody. So some people may have not grasped it. Yes, that's fine. Okay, let me rewrite this again, because this is all done. Okay, what do I need to do now?
Need to distribute again.
Okay, so what do I write?
R3 I3.
No.
Oh, R5 I3 minus R5 I4 plus R4 I3.
Okay. All right, and now, Dominic, what things have I3 in it?
R3, R5, and R4. All positive.
Okay, so I write this in parentheses. What do I put?
R3 plus R5 plus R4.
No, don't worry about the order. It's
It
fine.
don't matter?
Nope.
R plus R5 plus R4.
Yeah. Guys, don't make life hard on yourself. Oh, I gotta have them in order. Who cares? Just make sure the numbers, the things are there, right?
Not you, Dan.
Okay. And then this is multiplied by what? This is I3, right? Okay. And then what am I left with?
Negative R5 I4.
I'm going to put that as a plus minus, but you don't have to, and that equals 0. Dominic, is that finished?
That look good to me.
Looks good to you. What about this 0? Is it okay to have a 0 at the end? Yes or no? Do you have anything known that's not multiplied by a variable? No.
No.
So the answer must be 0. Got it, guys? You're going to have a lot of zeros. That's fine. Okay? Answers can be 0. So this is 3 prime. Everybody got it? So let's rewrite it. Okay, we're almost done with the first one. Okay, so equation 4. Cassie, you ready? She's like, I guess I am now. I'm going to rewrite it over. You can rewrite it yourself. 4 minus I3, R8, I2. Okay, so what's your first variable you're looking for, Cassie? It's all right, take your time. You can finish writing it. Go ahead, finish writing.
We're looking for I1.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't any.
So what do I put?
Would it be 0 I1?
Okay. And if you want, you can rewrite everything. I'll let you collect your thoughts while I rewrite everything. Okay. What are we looking for next?
I2.
Okay. And where's I2?
It's in the R8 parentheses I1.
So what do we need to do with that?
Distribute it.
All right, so let me rewrite this. Okay. Now give me the distribution. So what do I write here?
It would be R8 plus I.
R8.
Oh, I8 I4. Plus or minus R8 I2.
Okay. So what do I put in for I2 here?
For I2,
How many I2s do you have?
1.
Okay, and what's its value? What's it multiplied by, Frank? Come on.
R8.
What's the sign?
Oh, negative.
Nice. Don't make it harder than it is, Cassim. That's it. That's all there is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's rewrite everything else, and then we got to do I3, right?
Yep.
It's just accounting. Just be careful. Okay? So we got 0 I1 plus a negative R8 I2. If you want to just write minus R8 I2, that is fine. It will not mark you off. Okay. Now we're on to which variable, Cassim?
We're on to 3.
Okay, where's that?
It's in the R5 I4.
So what do I need to do?
We're going to distribute it.
Okay, so let's distribute it. So what does that become?
It's going to be R5 I4
Good.
and minus R5 I1. I mean I3, sorry.
Good. And then we rewrite everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We rewrite our I1 and I2. And Cassim, what's our R3? Our I3, sorry.
It's negative R. Is that 5?
Yep.
I3.
I'm going to put a little line, no, and then I'm going to rewrite everything. This is plus R5I4 plus R8I4 minus VS2 plus R9I4 equals 0. Okay. Imagine you guys are going to have 7 or 8 of these babies. I heard that yawn. Okay. So, I like to put a little arrow under them. Which ones have I4?
It's the R5, R8, and R9.
Okay, so this becomes plus what?
R5, R4.
R5. You got to put all the coefficients together. Come on now. Each of these have to be added together,
Oh.
right?
R5, R8
What do I put between them?
plus R8 plus R9,
And all that is times.
I4.
Now, just because I know I'm done with them, let me just put these through so I know I'm done. I still have the minus VS2, and I have equals 0, right? So we're almost there. Okay, so Cassie, what's the last thing I need to do?
The negative VS2 should be distributed to 0 over where the something is.
So how do I do that?
Would you divide? No.
Come on, friend, what do? You want to get rid of it, so how do you?
Oh, subtract
So subtract to subtract is?
positive.
Yeah, so it's a plus what?
Plus V2. I can't.
Does that add up to be 0?
Yes.
That's what you do. So this is it, we're done. Equals VS2, voltage source 2. We put this over here into our solutions. And again, this is just a 4x4, right? So if you don't want to write in 2 separate things, that's not the end of the world. But when you get 8x8, it gets to be messy, guys. Getting the feel for it?
Yeah.
Not so bad?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to erase everything over here on the right. And we're going to go now and put this as A and B. Got it? Everybody see? That's the whole purpose of this, right? Then once you have A and B, then you do it in MATLAB. These are going to be given to you. These 11 are going to be given to you. You're just going to copy and paste them into your code, right? In your user section. And in the main program, I would write A1 for the first row, A2 is the second row, and then I would add A equals A in brackets, A1 semicolon, A2 semicolon, so on, right? That's A. Then I do the same thing for B, I'd probably write it in just one line. Okay? But remember for B, everyone's going to be a semicolon. You're going to see that in a second. Okay? So, 4 equations can solve only 4 things. Got it? Okay? Let's erase this. Let's write A and B. And then we're going to keep the same equations, but we're going to change the unknowns. Okay?
Can we write what A and B will be?
That's what we're going to do right now.
That's what I'm saying. Can we put them on the same page as our solutions?
Yes.
Alright.
Yep, on the same page as your solution, you do A and B. I like to have it separate because here, seeing A is easy. Seeing A and B here should be easy, right? And if you line them up, all the I1s, I didn't have space, but if you line it up carefully, all the I1s, you could just draw a line through the I1s. That's coefficient, 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 coefficient. That's one column. So each row is an equation, Each column is a variable. Everybody got that? Yes?
Yeah.
I2. I can put a line through the I2s. It's 0, this, this, this. Everybody see that? Make sense? What's my B going to be? This, 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 this. Got it? So it's bookkeeping. Just be careful and do it. Okay? Why am I showing this to you? Why can't he just, why do we have to do 8 by 8? Because 8 by 7 by 7 or 8 by 8 is enough of a pain in the ass that you have to be meticulous, and you can see the power of using MATLAB. Okay? And most of you, when you go into real life, are not going to have a circuit that's just 3 loops. And you're not going to have just 1 unit off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have something that has more than 4 it's going to be more than 4 equations, right? That's what you're going to see in real life. Okay? And if you're an electrical engineer, I bust on the electrical and computer engineers. I say, oh, well, you don't have anything nonlinear. Well, most part you don't. But what you do have is a bleep load more equations than we do as chemical engineers. Right? So you may have millions and millions of circuits, and you're solving it, and you can solve it to real high accuracy. But again, you got to be able to put it in the format. Everybody see that? Okay? All right, so let's do the A matrix. And if you want, you can think of it this way. So this is 1 prime, 2 prime, 3 prime, 4 prime. And along the top is I1, I2, I3, I4. Obviously, this doesn't go in MATLAB and this doesn't go in MATLAB, right? And then we have our B1. And it's the answer to each equation. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your name? I'm sorry, LaDanya? Did I come close? Please correct me if I don't. Okay, so LaDanya, give me the first row in A. What will the first row in A be?
Parentheses R1 plus R2 plus R3.
Excellent.
Close it. Comma 0, comma negative R3, comma 0.
In MATLAB, you're going to have these commas. You don't have, or space. If you write the A matrix without the commas, that's fine. I think it's great. She's actually thinking ahead how she'll do it in MATLAB. That's fine with me. That's cool. Okay? Okay? And LaDanya, what's the first answer in B?
B is 1.
Okay? Everyone got that? All right. Someone else. Someone else. Sorry. Someone else. Do I have to pick one? What's your name? What's that? Christian. Okay. Christian, give me the second one. What's the first value in the second one? What's the coefficient for I1 in 2 prime? Zero. 0, right? Yes? What's I2? Okay, in parentheses, R6 plus R7 plus R8, Christian. Okay, what's the third one? It's I3, right? What's the coefficient for I3?
0 I3.
So what's the coefficient?
I3.
No, that's the variable. Coefficient's the number in front of the variable. What is it?
Oh, 0.
0. And then for I4?
Negative R8.
Negative R8. What's the solution?
0.
No. What's on the right-hand side of the equation?
Negative VS1.
Negative VS1. Okay? Okay. I don't know most of the people's name. What is your name?
Bryce.
Bryce? Bryce. Okay. Bryce, what's the third one?
Negative R3.
Okay. And again, if you don't want to put commas, that's fine. What's the next one?
0.
Good.
Parentheses R3 plus R5 plus R4.
Okay?
Then negative R5,
Okay, Bryce, excellent. And what's the answer?
0.
Excellent. Okay? Someone else. Jackie,
Yes.
give me the fourth one.
0.
0,
Negative R8.
negative R8,
Negative R5.
negative R5,
R5, R8, and R9.
and the answer?
ES2.
And there's your A and B matrices. How do I solve for X? What's the code? Come on, guys.
A to the negative 1 or carry to the negative 1 times speed.
Okay? And what is the answer for I3? Where is it in that there? Where's its position? Elijah?
Third.
It'll be the third. Why is it the third?
Because that's how we have it inverted.
Because it's the third column. Got it? Everybody understand? Okay? All right, it's hot in here. We're going to do the same equations with different unknowns, and then we'll head out. Okay? Any questions so far? Is it making some sense? Yes? Okay. I'm going to erase all this.
You do that first, I do it.
Okay. Okay, we done? All right. Let's go ahead. All right. Quinlan, give me a variable that is unknown.
That's unknown.
Yeah, play God. Choose one. Which of our 15 do you want to be unknown?
I guess R6.
R6. LaDanya, give me a variable.
R8.
R8. Dominic, give me a variable.
R2.
R2. Okay. Cassim, give me a variable.
R5.
R5. All right, can these work, these variables? Okay? You're not going to have to worry about this for the test because I'm playing God. I'm going to tell you the variables you have to solve, right? But let's take a look. Is R6 and R8 in here? No. Is R2 here? Yes. Is R5 here? No. But I have one variable and I1 is known, so I'm okay with this. This is the important thing. When you do your first engineering class, there's no differential equations. In equals out. It's going to be sum of forces, sum of energies, sum of currents, all that, sum of mass. Okay? That's what it is. It's going to be a linear system, or it could be nonlinear. And if it's nonlinear, it's a bilinear system. Okay? If I said R2 was unknown and I1's unknown, what happens? That's like XY. XY is nonlinear because neither of them is known. Got it? If that's the case, I can't do AX equals B. I need to use something like a root solver like fsolve. If people want to learn how to do that and would like to do that, I could see about teaching you. I have a module for how to use fsolve. I wish we had time, but I don't. Okay? So fsolve will help you if it's nonlinear to solve the roots, right? That's what it's built in MATLAB. Okay? So if it's bilinear, it's a nonlinear system. I can't do it. The other thing I have to do is make sure that there's at least one unknown in each equation. Otherwise, I'm going to get something like 5 equals 5. I don't have enough information to solve it, right? Because one of the equations isn't even an equation. Okay? So R6, R2 is here. It's not it's multiplied by a known. It's good. What about this one? We have R6, I2 is known. That works. R8 is unknown. These are both known. This works. We go down here. There's no R2, but there is an R5. So that works. We go down to this one. There is an R5. These are both known, so that still works. Known versus an unknown. R8 is known. These are both known. I mean, R8's unknown, but these are all known, so that works. This is known, and those are both known. Okay? So you guys gave me a set that should work. We can solve this. Okay? Now, what's going to happen with this is you're going to have a lot of zeros, and B is going to be big, because some of these equations are one thing and everything else is known. Okay? So we're going to go through and do this, okay? So these are our variables. We could rearrange them in order, I guess. Let's just rearrange them so they're numerically in order. So I'm going to write this as underscore what? R2, right? Underscore, what's the next one? We're going to do R5.
R6, R8.
And then equals something. Okay, we're going to do like one or two of these, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. Okay, on your own. Okay, so let's do the first one. We're going to write this out. It's R1I1 plus R2I1 minus VS1 plus R3I1 minus I3 equals 0. Okay, do we have any R2s? Okay, so what do we put here? Oh, I'm sorry. What do we do with this? Is there any variables in this? No. So what do we need to do with it?
You gotta move it.
Move it, move it.
I'd like to
And to move it over here, what do I need to do?
subtract it. I'd like to move it.
So this becomes R2I1 minus VS1 plus R3I1 minus I3 equals minus R1I1. What about this? Does that have an unknown? Rico, does that have an unknown? Is there an unknown in this? What are the unknowns, Rico?
R2. Oh, yes.
Okay, so what do I need to write this as, Rico?
You need to
It has to be like that, right?
yes.
So what goes in front?
I1.
Everybody see that? This is my stoichiometric coefficient. That's now known. Everybody got it? This is my unknown. Okay?
Sure.
All right? Is there any other R2s, Rico?
No.
Okay, so we write that. What about R3? I'm sorry, R5.
It's not in the equation.
So what does it get?
0.
0.
R6, Rico?
It's not in the equation, so it gets 0.
R8?
Also 0.
What do I do about this and this, Rico? Make a guess. Is VS1 no?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it up here?
No. It's not up there, so it's not.
So what do I need to do with it?
Add it to the
If it's known, it needs to go what side?
left side. Oh, right side.
Because the right side is my answer.
Yes.
So how do I get it from here to there?
Add it to both sides.
Okay, so this needs to go. Yeah?
Yeah.
What about this?
Don't you have to distribute the R3 to I1 and I3?
Is R3 no?
No. Yes, yes, it's not.
Is I1 no?
Yes.
Is I3 no?
Yes.
Are you going to distribute?
Yes.
Why?
To simplify it.
Why would you simplify it? Leave it like this. Let MATLAB do the calculations. There's no variable here. So what am I going to do with it?
Add it to the other side.
Instead of adding it, it becomes what?
Subtraction.
So this becomes minus R1I1. You're not done, Rico. Minus R1I1, and then tell me what's rest here.
Minus R1I1 plus VS1 minus R3 parentheses I1 minus I3.
Got it? Are we finished with this one, Rico? Do you have something times R2
Yes.
plus something times R5
Yeah.
plus something times R6?
Yeah.
Something times R8
Yeah.
equals something? Are we done?
Yes.
So this becomes 1 prime.
Sure.
Okay? And it is I1 R2 plus 0 R5 plus 0 R6 plus 0 R8 equals a whole lot of stuff. Minus R1 I1 plus VS1 minus R3 I1 minus I3. Okay? People getting a feel how to do it?
Yeah.
All right. I want you to do the last 3, and then I want you to give me the A matrix and the B matrix. Okay?
Never dismissed.
You are dismissed. Those of you who can bear the heat, who are done early and want to help others, you will get extra credit. Okay? Okay? So you might want to stop the video here.
Good dying.
Okay? Any questions, folks? Okay? Go ahead and do it on your own.